Good afternoon, everybody. It's the Cryptid Huntress. How's everybody doing today? Welcome into a glitch in the Matrix, where we usually get down and glitchy over here. And today I have a couple of fantastic co-hosts here in the studio with us today. I have Geryl and Jane Fountain of Midwest Night Watchers. We're going to dive deep into some of the most terrifying national parks here in the United States. We're going to get into the hauntings that go on there and all the missing people. We're going to go into the top tier of some that I'm not going to say stay away from them, but just watch your back and keep your head on a swivel when you go to places like this. We're going to get into the legends and lore of the top. I think there's like 7 or 8 of these that we're going to go over today. And we're going to talk about a whole lot of other stuff too. So you guys get ready, buckle up. We're going into the rabbit hole again today. If you guys would like to follow along with all my shows and catch up on what I'm doing, head over to my website. That's thecryptidhuntress.com. You can find all my shows there. And also you can get my calendar of events, my link to my Patreon if you guys would like to become a member, my shop on Etsy as well. It's called War Woman Goods. And I will show you what I'm going to. The Myrtle Beast Conference is coming up in a couple of weeks. Oh my gosh, it's coming up quick. And I'm going to be in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, May 9th through 10th. The full conference is on May the 10th on a Saturday. So I hope you guys will come join me over there if you're in the area. And also, of course, in July, I'm going to be at the Full Disclosure Now conference down in Florida. And get your tickets now. Oh, I do have a discount code. It's on my social media and on my website. I think I forgot to put it on here, but don't get the tickets without using that discount code, y'all, please. Okay. It'll definitely help out if you got that discount. So, and it's specific to me. Okay. And my followers, my viewers, everybody, the supporters over here. So be sure you hit me up and check out that discount code before you buy your tickets to that. Okay, well, let's get to our show today because I'm so excited. Y'all know I talk about national parks quite a bit. I did do a really cool thumbnail for this. I hope you guys enjoyed my zombie bear, Smoky the bear, Smoky the zombie bear. I did that just for the audience. I figured y'all like that one. So yes, remember kids, only you can prevent zombie bears. Okay. Oh, man. All right. So the U.S. national parks are some of the most popular natural attractions in the entire world, with millions of people visiting there each year, not only visiting there for the beauty of it, but also to go investigate Bigfoot and Dogman and all sorts of cryptids that are out there, just like I do. Now, before these places were national parks, they held a rich history. They still hold a rich history, but they were significant cultural hubs for Native Americans and the pioneers. And we really don't know what the true history is at a lot of these national parks. We're going to get into that today. And so with the extensive cryptid encounters, intense paranormal hauntings, and thousands of hikers going missing each year from these national parks, never to be seen again, some parks are more dangerous and more terrifying than others. And we're going to be exploring the most dangerous and terrifying and haunted national parks across the United States. We have Geryl and Jane of Midwest Night Watchers and Chiro Sounds here in the studio today. We're going to look into the legends, the creature sightings, the missing person statistics at the most notorious parks. And also, I was thinking about talking about the ancient lost civilizations that are underneath some of these lakes as well. We're going to touch on that a little bit today, but I'm going to make that its own show. I'm probably going to do that show next week. Please help me welcome to the show our good friends, Miss Jane Fountain and Mr. Geryl Fountain of Midwest Night Watchers. Hey, y'all.
Hello.
Hi, Jessica. Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Hey.
thank you.
Well, thank y'all for being here. This is going to be a lot of fun today. I know you guys have a little experience with some national parks, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys, did you ever take your families vacationing at national parks when your kids were little?
We basically took them to state parks because we have really good state parks here in Illinois. Like we always go up there to Starved Rock
On Matheson.
trails and the canyons and Matheson State Park. But as a kid, we used to travel with our parents and my siblings, obviously, to other national parks. We go on vacations.
And I've gone to Yellowstone several times as a kid.
Oh yeah, Yellowstone.
Mhm.
I feel like I've covered almost every single national park. I thought when it comes to like remote viewing targets, we talk about these missing persons clusters. But when I was going down the list of the most terrifying, with the parks that have the most local like legends and lore to them, and let's say unalivings and stuff like that too. But mostly missing people as well. There's a lot of parks that I have not covered it. I've never even talked about any of these parks. Like we're going to talk about the Badlands today. Badlands
Oh,
National
yeah.
Park. Never talked about that one before. Of course, we got the Grand Canyon. We're going to talk about Mammoth Cave National Park. That actually came up on Monday when I was talking to Barry. We were talking about the Mammoth Cave, and that's somewhere that I have not been yet. I want to go to that. We're going to show some pictures today of that cave, and it is massive, y'all. It is massive.
Wow.
Super high strangeness goes down there.
I
Is
think
that the one that's
one of the shows we were on with you that you were talking about a moving van that had Mammoth Cave on the side of it one time.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, I almost forgot about that. Yes. Yeah, I was moving. I don't know if it was my moving van or somebody else. I think it was mine.
Yeah, it was
And,
yours.
It was
Yeah.
mine. And I looked up and it said Mammoth Cave on it. And I think I talked about that on my next show that I did. Yes. That's wild. Yeah,
Isn't that the
Mammoth
cave
Cave.
that's closed off?
I
Did they
don't
close
think
that
so.
off now?
I don't think so. I've got pictures of people inside of it and single file
okay.
lines
All right.
walking
This
through.
must
Yeah,
be another
it's
one that they
closed
closed
off when you get
Okay.
in so far. They don't let you go
All right.
explore, but they have tours still through the main part.
Oh, the front part. Okay.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I even found, okay, some of these places we're going to talk about today, actually, they have luxurious resorts inside the cave where you can probably pay a lot of money to go stay in the caves. And some of them even have glass doors that look out from the cave entrances and stuff. I mean, it's actually kind of luxurious.
Oh,
Not sure how I'd feel about it. I'm sure it'd be a cool experience.
but
I
that's
would go. I'd do it.
Yeah,
Yes,
go
but
to
it
Mammoth
beats.
Cave and stay in the tuberculosis wing.
Oh man, okay, and I gotta admit, that's something I had never heard about until I started doing my research on this today. Or I was doing my research last night and I was like, what are all these tuberculosis patients doing down inside Mammoth Cave? And we're about to get into that. So Geryl, thank you so much for bringing that up. It actually adds to the haunted nature of Mammoth Cave,
Yeah.
actually. All the tuberculosis patients they had down there. So yeah, I mean, if you guys have been down in the caves during the summertime, you'll know that the caves are the place to go to get out of the heat. It's like a refrigerator down there. So I'm assuming that's why they would put all those patients down there, I guess.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a better environment, they thought at the time, for the air and the quality to keep them out of the, I guess, the above ground environment.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and it's got a little creep factor to it too. So caves, y'all know caves are not my cup of tea. Not a huge fan of doing cave exploring. But another one of the parks we're going to talk about today is actually somewhere I have plans to be. I'm going to be going there pretty soon. Undisclosed time, undisclosed location, but the Great Smoky Mountains National Park.
Oh,
And
yeah.
of course, we do know about a lot of the missing persons clusters out of there. A lot of Bigfoot sightings, and I think I covered the Dennis Martin case a while back. That was one of my remote viewing targets, which will be coming up in an upcoming film. I'm going to be, I got a little short feature in Greg Ogle's new upcoming film coming up. I think it's called Vanished. And we talk about Dennis Martin and that little film that he made. So anyways, all right. Well, I figure we'll start off with the first one. Okay. This is not the most haunted and the most dangerous, but it's the most enigmatic, I think. And that is going to be the Grand Canyon National Park. Let's start with that one.
Yeah.
And y'all know we talk about the Grand Canyon a lot on the channel. I don't know why I'd figured it was, I know it's on federal land now, right?
Yeah.
But to hear it is the Grand Canyon National Park, I was like, oh, dang, I guess it is a national park. So, oh, by the way, this is Andrew put the discount code for those tickets, everybody. If you guys would like to get tickets to the Full Disclosure Now conference, it's right here on the screen. So thank you, Andrew. Okay, so over 1,100 people have been reported missing. Okay, and I'm going to say, y'all know thousands of people go missing each year at all these national parks. But since 2018, over 1,100 people have gone missing. That's since 2018. That's not that long ago.
Right.
Okay, and so it has a lot of ghost stories, but it also has ancient Egyptian settlements out there too, right?
Mhm.
Let's see. Let me pull up some pictures of it. And I want to show everybody where this is at. We're going to get into some details about it. Actually, this is the Grand Canyon, y'all. If you put a picture of the Grand Canyon next to a picture of a copper mine, a quarry, it looks exactly the same. And so that's when I say that we don't know our true history behind a lot of these places, especially national parks. I don't think we know the true history, right, guys?
Right.
Yeah, that's the location right there. It is in Arizona, in the north of Arizona. Okay, so it's got a couple of super haunted places. I did want to show these pictures because it just looks eerily like Egypt. Eerily. What does that say? The Shiva temple, the Isis temple, and the Cheops pyramid. Okay, and
there's supposedly, the
Yeah,
Sphinx.
the Sphinx. Yeah, I was going to say that. Yep.
Oh yeah, we have the Sphinx now. All right,
one.
What do y'all think about this, Geryl and Jane? What do y'all think about this? I mean, could Egypt have been here in the United States at some point?
Could be.
I mean, there's a lot of things that point to it. I mean, we have all these, just like Southern Illinois is called Little Egypt. Why would that be? Why is there so many cities called Cairo in the U.S. and other Egyptian city names and monuments and plateaus in the Grand Canyon, like you just showed?
Yeah. I mean, and we've got the what is that? The Kincaid was that explorer's name that I think he was contracted by the Smithsonian to go find these ancient Egyptian settlements that were there, and they are heavily guarded to this day. People do talk about there being black helicopters and armed guards all around that area where that cave entrance is, where they said that it's big enough to hold 30,000 people or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not allowed to investigate or camp out or do whatever you want anymore. I guess you have to be on small tours. I don't even think they have as many tours as they used to. But yeah, you're not allowed to go down there and just investigate on your own. And if you get near that area, yeah, they have been said that their security highly guarded.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
Why?
Well, we've talked about the reptilians, okay, the ant people that live there. There's a very rich Native American history there. I think it goes farther back than that, though. Okay, especially if we had a big ancient Egyptian settlement there, and something's fishy over there.
We've heard
fishy.
Across the video, and I screen captured the map that they were showing, and it goes from California, the West Coast, all the way down the Grand Canyon across the U.S., showing like Egyptian settlements and Israel, Jewish settlements. And it actually pinpoints places like the crucifixion of Christ and the Tower of Babel and the Hanging Gardens and Death Valley. They were saying actually was a desert that the Israelites went across. And there's a artifact in the Smithsonian that they didn't know what to do with it. They found it in the Grand Canyon supposedly, and they couldn't figure it out. Well, some language expert, especially in Hebrew, looked at it and said, well, this is upside down. He turned it over and it was a Hebrew. So it had a Hebrew language artifact from the Grand Canyon, which kind of makes sense if you have Israel and Egypt in the same area.
Yeah.
And there's a massive city inside of one of the mountains.
Oh yeah. There's so many. I was just thinking as you were saying that, Geryl, there was a little tablet found down in the Troop Herd corridor. I talk about it a lot because that's where I do a lot of my Bigfoot and Dogman research down there in middle Georgia. And a woman was digging in her garden one day and found a little tablet with ancient Sumerian writing on it.
Oh,
wow.
It was completely out of place. Nobody knows how it got there, of course. And it just makes you wonder. I mean, I can't remember how many thousands of years ago it was dated, but it was something just absolutely outrageously out of place. There's no reason for that to have been there. And it was just from her digging around. When I say we don't know our true history here, we really don't. We know what we've been told. And
right.
Yeah. And that's about it. Super, super terrible. Now, okay, so over almost 1,000 people have reported, it's actually in the books, okay, have actually died at the Grand Canyon National Park over the past I'm going to say almost 200 years. They've had plenty of people that have died. They have lots of ghost sightings there. Really, what they report mostly are ghosts. Okay. Ghosts and stuff. I think they want to keep everybody looking over here and not over here. Okay. When they talk about the things that go down in these parks, there's a lot of ghost sightings over there. And they talk about how hikers, when they're hiking at night, especially, or even in the deep woods, they hear people crying, like kids crying. Now, to me, that doesn't sound like a ghost. That sounds like an S-walker.
Oh, yeah.
That's just me, though. Yeah.
Trying to
or it
lure
could be
you.
a cat. Yeah. Or it could be a big cat as well. But nonetheless, this does rank up there as one of the top most haunted parks, national parks. And so please be careful, y'all, if you ever go to the Grand Canyon National Park, please be careful out there. Y'all know the deal.
And the Grand Canyon, the main lodge had a fire in 1932, I think is what it was. And there was a lot of deaths and people supposedly hauntings from that incident as well. And it seems like every park that has a lodge or a hotel, there's something traumatic happens at all of them.
Oh yeah. Is that hotel that The Shining was filmed in? Is that on a national park?
I think it's up in close to a national park, but it's not the Grand Canyon. It's up
north. I know it's not the Grand
farther.
Canyon. I was just wondering if it's in a national park though, on some federal land. Actually, I think that we're going to talk about another national park that has a hotel on it that is haunted. And it's one of the last ones. I think it's one of the most haunted. We're going to get to that one last. Now, I want to skip over to the Mammoth Cave now because this is really fascinating. And I know we touched on this a little bit earlier. This is somewhere that I have not been before, but Kentucky is full of caves. It's right there, not too far from where we did that Skinwalker Cave investigation last year with my cryptid warfare guys. And we went down there. The cave entrance was not this big. Okay, this is a big cave entrance here. And to give the audience an idea of where this is in Kentucky. We got a couple people in Kentucky, probably in the chat today. I don't know if Cryptidville's in here. I hadn't been watching the chat, but he lives up there in Kentucky. And it's just north of where I live. But this is a beautiful area.
Wow.
Absolutely gorgeous, full of, I'm sure, Bigfoots. Okay, I'm going to assume there's a lot of cryptids up there. And to give another reference, I was going to show that missing persons cluster map. Okay,
right.
Because let's look again of where we've got the Mammoth Cave National Park. Also, let's go back and look where the Grand Canyon location is over here. Now let's compare that to the missing persons clusters map here. Okay, and it looks like there's a lot of missing people over there in that area of East Tennessee. I'm going to say East Tennessee. It's a little bit south of where Kentucky, right there. But yeah, there's maybe a little cluster there, maybe a couple over there on that side, and then over in Arizona. I mean, there's definitely a cluster just south of the Grand Canyon for sure.
Right.
And so I don't know. What do y'all think about that?
Yeah, I mean, they all line up. I mean, just like when you show the Bigfoot, sightings map against the 411 missing. And I mean, it all lines up, whether you do military bases, whether you do national parks, somehow the federal government installations seem to line up with all this high strangeness.
They sure do. And also the deep underground military bases as well. And there's obviously a deep underground military base. It goes right there through the Grand Canyon National Park, it looks like, over there, and through Kentucky right there. There's several hubs right there in Kentucky, right where that national park is. Food for thought, everybody. Food for thought.
Yeah. Just think the government's the ones that created the national parks for a reason.
That's right. They gotta have somewhere to hide their stuff, okay?
Yeah.
Like their cryptids and their experiments and everything they got going on. This is for entertainment purposes only, y'all. Okay, it's for entertainment purposes only.
If you line up the map of the UFO highway, the parallel, what is it, 37th? It goes right along with those maps also, where you have all the instances of UFOs, and you have the government installations, you have the 411 missing,
and the ley lines as well. We gotta remember the ley lines.
Yeah.
Let's see. It does appear that there's probably a ley line. It goes right through, real close to where the Grand Canyon is right there. And I'm looking in Kentucky. Kentucky's got an intersection of ley lines right there. Okay, so all right, go figure. Go figure. We're just connecting dots again, as we always do. But let's get back to the Mammoth Cave. There's some beautiful pictures of this place. I can't wait to go one day. And of course, like I said, caves are usually pretty spooky. And Mammoth Cave National Park is the largest cave system in the world.
Oh, wow.
In the world. And so during the day, guests can take a guided tour of the various caverns and rooms, but by night, they can't go. You can't go at night, apparently. And they say that there's actually a lot of ghosts and scary stuff that goes on in these caves at night. Now, look how huge that is. That looks gigantic. I wish there was a person so we could get an idea of like what the size reference is there, because it might be actually kind of small. To me, that looked like a highway. When I first pulled this picture up, I was like, gosh. But of course, there have been Native American remains found in these caves, and the tuberculosis camps.
Right.
This is brand new to me. Brand new. They say that when you go down in there, sometimes you can hear people coughing.
Ooh.
Yeah, and there won't be anybody near you. You'll just hear the echoes of coughs.
Yeah, that is scary. Okay. Let's see. Let me read about this real quick, because the tuberculosis in Mammoth Cave. Okay, so let's see, what's this guy's name? Dr. Krogan. There's a man named Dr. John Krogan. He was interested in the cave as part of a sanitarium for his tuberculosis patients. And I think that he actually suffered from tuberculosis. He purchased Mammoth Cave property for $10,000 back in the 19th and early 20th centuries. And they say that visitors and miners report seeing or hearing coughs, and they started feeling better once they spent time down in that cave, actually, as far as his patients go. And they said the air is slightly exhilarating and sustained one in a ramble of 5 or 10 hours. I guess that's old world speak right there. But then you don't have any of that fatigue once you go down there. I mean, to me, it might just be like the elevation, and like going down in the cave. I mean, it'll open your lungs up, apparently. So he hoped the environment would be restorative and therapeutic for tuberculosis patients. And so he subsequently established an experimental hospital treatment facility inside the cave. And he said, I used to stand on that rock and blow the horn and call them all to dinner. There were 15 of them, and they looked more like a company of skeletons than anything else. That's what they would say about the patients down there. So I guess it was around, they took up residence around 1842 down in that cave with a hospital there. And they had a wooden structure measuring 12 feet by 18 feet. That was like their main little hospital, I guess, that was down there. So, yeah, cool, dark, damp conditions. And here's another picture right here. These are drawings, I think, of it.
Right.
Wow.
But really,
one of my relatives,
really odd.
On my dad's side in the 1800s got tuberculosis. And she went to what they called tent cities, and it was in Indiana in the dunes. They set up tents for the dry air to cure tuberculosis. So I would think Mammoth Cave would be the opposite. I think it'd be wet, heavy air in the caves. So I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like it for sure. It says that they started giving tours of this cave down in 1816, and that's, I guess that's before he bought the cave, I guess. And he said, yeah. They just talk about how to this day you can hear people cough, like literally coughing up a lung. Okay, that's what we say when we get coughing too much. And I don't know, y'all.
Then you got shadow people and ghosts that appear in the Mammoth Caves.
And pale crawlers too. There's all sorts of strange things out there. So
maybe,
yeah,
maybe you'd even see the Kentucky Goblin while you're down there.
Oh my gosh, probably so. But to say that this is the largest cave system in the world, that's wild. That's
it's like
really
400 miles of caves, right? 400 miles, I believe.
Yeah, let's look at the cave map up here too, because I've got the map of the caves. It's actually it's below the map of the missing persons cluster, so you can see. I mean, all that dark blue. Going through down the East Coast right there of the United States, kind of that's that big chunk right there at the bottom. That's where Mammoth Cave is, right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot in Missouri too.
Oh yeah. So they say that it's the majority of the haunts of that cave are tuberculosis patients. Now I don't know if I believe that. I think there's a bunch down there probably, but I think there's more. There's more than just tuberculosis patients
Right.
down there in that cave.
Was there
100%.
that many TB cases in there?
I don't know. It couldn't. I mean, that was such a tiny little spot down there.
Yeah.
If they just had that one little building that served as their kind of hospital, I guess.
Now, when these patients would pass away, they also kept their bodies in the caves until they could make arrangements up above ground or wherever they were going to go back to their families or whatever. So there was a actual little cave or a little spot in there where they'd keep the dead bodies in.
Oh.
Ew. Oh my gosh. Well, that was common back in the 1800s and before, I'm sure, and probably the early 1900s as well, because when we were in Virginia City last year, I went with Spaced Out Radio to their fan party, and we did some ghost hunting at the old Washoe Club, and Ghost Adventures had been there, which I thought was really cool, and had some of their best footage came out of that place as far as ghost evidence and things flying through the air and stuff like that.
Coins dropping from the ceiling.
Oh yeah, weird. Yeah, planks. That's right. That was where that 2x4 went flying across the room, I think. But one of the scariest parts of that place. Okay, and it wasn't super scary. I didn't like the bathroom was the scariest. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't like going to the bathroom in that place. It just felt like somebody was watching me. Okay, it did. It did not feel good, and it felt really dark in the bathroom of all places. But they had a room in the back of that building at the old Washoe Club that they featured on Ghost Adventures. Okay, shout out to GAC, and they had it was a cold room. It was kind of like being in a cave because it was so cold. It was naturally cold because the room was made out of stones, I guess.
Right.
And that's where they would store bodies. Until the ground would be able, I guess, through the winter or something, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, even the old settlers or the pioneers, if you died during the winter, that's what they did. They took you out back and they put you in a snowdrift, and during the summer or spring, they'd get you out and give you a good burial. But until then, you stayed outside.
Ooh. Oh man. Yeah. It's I would think that would leave for an unsettled soul. Probably being there, but it did seem kind of cozy though. Okay, it did seem kind of cozy. It was just a little creepy. You got to go somewhere, I guess. And let me tell you, I've unfortunately had to bury some dogs and some pets. I had to bury a bird this morning. Matter of fact, this morning. Yeah, pesky neighbor's cat. I tell you what, I think the cat got it last night and left me a gift by my car this morning. So, yeah. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but talking about burying, it is not easy to dig a hole. Okay. For a bird, yes, it's easy. Okay. But for a body or a dog or something big, it's not easy. It's very difficult. So we got to put the body somewhere till you can go get some help. Okay. And I sound like I'm talking from experience, like I've buried a body.
It's like, start checking your garden and stuff to see what's going on.
Don't come checking my garden. I'm just kidding. I don't have a garden, but anyways, you just find a whole lot of dead pets out there, y'all. I promise you that. Okay. And birds and chipmunks. But nonetheless, okay. Well, let's move on to the next one because we got a bunch of these to talk about today. The Great Smoky Mountains National Park. I'm headed there. Not gonna say when, but I'm going there pretty soon, and I can't wait. This is one of the most haunted national parks in the United States, full of Bigfoot, Dogman. I believe this is where Harley Owens does a lot of his research and has some fantastic pictures of Dogman that he's shown to us on the show before, and I can't wait to get my little butt up there. It's gonna be fun, and that's where the Smoky Mountains are, right there, y'all. Right there in East Tennessee, same location as Cobb County, where Amber Miller and Tony Aarons were mauled to death by the Pax Wild Dogs. Same area as the Oak Ridge Lab, where they worked on making the atomic bombs during for the Manhattan Project down there. And they actually also work with CERN and a sister project called Alice, something about a large ion collider or something. I can't remember the exact acronym, but it's ALICE, a large ion collider, something else. I don't know. But anyways, they're probably ripping through time and space right there, opening up portals.
Mm-hmm.
They've been making bombs and all that kind of stuff since the 1940s, I think. So nonetheless, it's an area of high strangeness, big time. And not to mention the Cherokee legends.
Right.
Yeah.
The Spearfinger.
My favorite.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite to never run into. That's right. I don't want to run into her out there when we're doing all of our bigfooting and stuff like that. But they got the Wampus cat. I mean, pretty much any of the Cherokee legends that we've heard of. Giant snakes.
Right.
The little people, the moon-eyed people, they're all found in the Smoky Mountains. Okay, and that's what we're talking about right now. And lots of hikers have gone missing from the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. One of the biggest clusters of missing people, as a matter of fact. And let me show the audience one more time where this is at, and then we're going to compare it to the missing person. Oh, wrong one. We're going to compare this to the missing persons map. There we go. Y'all know where we're going next now.
Isn't that close to where you said there was a portal that they could not close? Wasn't that in eastern Tennessee?
Ooh, I don't know.
You said something about there was a portal that they were not able to close and they have to guard it.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't remember that. But who knows? Yeah, it probably could be. I mean, my bet would be it'd be right there. I mean, look at that gigantic cluster right there.
Wow.
Right.
In that same area. That's a big cluster. And so please be careful. If you guys go to these national parks, please be careful. Like I always say, don't live in fear. Also, I want to show you what the cave map there, because there's a lot of caves there. This actually probably connects with the Mammoth Cave system, I'm assuming, because it's just, they say that Tennessee is just one big cave.
I mean, you get anywhere in that region close to the Appalachians. I mean, there's this high strangeness up and down that whole area.
Oh, yeah. Well, they say that there's still remnants of the Native Americans and the pioneers as spirits today that roam that park as well. Now, they say spirits. I'm sure there's spirits, but I think there's a lot more than just spirits that roam the Great Smoky Mountains National Park.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that for sure. Okay, I know that for sure. And but a lot of people have gone missing, and there's, gosh, if you go on all these national parks, y'all, if you look it up like on DuckDuckGo or Google it, and you type in missing people and then type in the name of the national park, you will be floored at all the pictures that come up. All the missing persons posters and all the families. And we're talking about a range of people too. Like, we're not talking about just like all, middle-aged men. We're talking about women, the elderly. We're talking about children. We're talking about people of all races, all colors, all denominations, all everything. It happens to everybody.
Right.
So I don't know. It's just something to think about.
And there's also the faceless man that's in the Smoky Mountains. Have you heard that story?
No, I haven't
heard that one. Faceless man.
Yeah, you go out through the trails, and all of a sudden there'll be a guy in like period clothes, like it might be from the olden days or it might be the 50s. And when he turns around, his face is no features whatsoever. It's just like a blank skin face.
Oh wow, I've never heard of that. Ew.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that would be super creepy. Wow. It would. And almost as creepy as a robot grandma.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Almost as creepy. That's one of my very favorites. Dan from the UK says that he would love to get David Platty's books, but I'm too broke. Well, you know what? I don't know if you can find them online, where you don't have to buy them. I've got one. Okay, if you live close to me, I'd let you borrow it. Okay, but I've got the Missing 411 out of North America, and it's really sad. It's really sad once you start reading them, and it's the same. It gets monotonous after a while because it's the same story, different person.
Right.
Every chapter is something. It's the same scenario, different person, and you see the pattern. And I think that's the whole reason of him doing these books. Not the whole reason, because he wants to get it out there that this is going on in our national parks. But it's to show the patterns. And
absolutely.
And
I mean, how many cases have you read about where families go out on a hike or friends, then one gets separated just a little bit, and by the time they turn around or the other party notices, that person's gone, and they only were a few feet away.
Yeah, I know, especially kids picking berries and wandering. They always say, like, don't if you're in a single file line of people that are hiking, don't ever be in the front or the back. Stay in the middle. Okay, stay in the middle if you want, and especially if you got kids, make sure your kids are always in the middle of you and another adult. Okay, if you can,
Right.
or have them right beside you, and you hold their hand. I'm not against putting a rope around my child's waist and holding on to it. I swear, if I had to. When he was little, now it's not so not so much. But if he had been little like that, I never took him to the national parks when he was little. Really, not too much. I knew what went on there. You know what I mean? And so I tried to keep him away. He had to stay home with grandma when we would go do our Bigfooting stuff, of course. But yeah, it's a little creepy. Maureen, thank you so much for that super sticker. It's a great show today. Hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you, Maureen. You and Gus, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Okay. So the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, we do know of one really, I'm going to say, famous case of the missing child out of there. His name was Dennis Martin. I mentioned him in the beginning of the show today, and I think that's the most well-known.
Right.
There are thousands of people that go missing out of this park, and this was him. That was, gosh, I don't remember the year that happened, but he went missing, and my remote viewing data suggests that he was kidnapped, and we have a terrible trafficking problem across the world with humans, and somebody was telling me at some point that even places like, I don't want to say Dollywood, but Dollywood, okay, is a hub for stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, think about like Disney World, all the horror stories we hear about it with kids that go in the bathroom and then they never come out. And
right.
like
all the back rooms and liminal spaces and.
Yep. Yeah. The woman that doesn't age.
The woman that doesn't age. Oh my gosh. Well, okay. Well, a lot of people also not only have gone missing there, but they have passed away in this national forest. And of course, people are going to pass away in national forest, with accidents and stuff like that. But something that is reported very often are orbs. Yes. And orbs are something that we always come across. It seems as though that's the one constant when we're out in the field. There's always orbs, just about always orbs. Out there. Sometimes they actually will chase you. Sometimes they will leave you alone. Sometimes they come and just check you out in your tent while you're trying to sleep at night. Ask me how I know. And and they're all different shapes and sizes and colors and all that kind of stuff. But they say that is one of the big things that is reported at the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, and that is the orbs. And they say that they just call them floating lights.
Right.
And I'm not sure if the Brown Mountain lights, I think that may be Smoky. Is that considered Smoky Mountains? Maybe. I think so.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those stories, the floating lights, the orbs, they all come from these wooded areas, especially like the Appalachians and other mountain ranges. It seems like these lights are always there. So it's like even the Smoky Mountains have the campfire that people think they see a light while they're on the trails at night or whatever, and they keep going towards that campfire and they never reach it. It seems like it disappears on them before they can get to the spot where they thought it was.
Ooh, yeah. The Brown Mountain lights are one of the more perplexing types of weird anomalies that go on out there with those lights. They look like, when people take pictures of them, they look like almost like dragons. Dare I say dragons? Okay, but that had been given to me as a remote viewing target as well. And it was something to do with, the data was talking about Tesla's free energy and stuff, like some kind of Tesla coils or something that was going on inside that mountain.
Wow.
And it was the result of some kind of energetic thing that was going on inside that mountain. And and the Marfa lights too. That's interesting too, Bigfoot dwarf. Very much like the Brown Mountain lights.
Yep.
It could be swamp gas, right? Swamp gas as well, or not. But nonetheless, there is a very dense, like supernatural aspect to what goes on out there in the Smoky Mountains, in addition to all the cryptids out there. And let's see. I know we've got some people in the chat right now that are in the Smoky Mountains. I'm pretty sure.
Oh
too.
yeah.
We got Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot, and I'm pretty sure Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot is probably in the Smoky Mountains. Okay, if he's there he is right there.
You know what's strange about these
Yeah.
stories? A lot of about the missing people or any of that. Some of the entities or the ghostly figures or the shadow figures, they say like they warn them about maybe bears being in the area or you're getting ready to go to a dangerous area where there might be cliffs or something. But then you have the opposite where people say, no, you get lured away or you get led to a cliff that you might fall off. So it goes both ways with these stories.
Well, actually, lost hikers have been known to get ghostly helping hands on their way back home, especially when they get lost. And that's actually it. Actually, is a feel good story right there, knowing that somebody would come. A ghost would have the wherewithal to come help you get back on track if you ever get off trail. And this is the largest and most visited national park in the United States, by the way. I wouldn't have known that until I read it. Okay. So it is one of the very biggest parks, one of the largest. And they also have, let's see. Unfortunately, there's a father whose daughter had gone missing. I don't know if he died in the park or what, but they say that this man was out searching for his daughter. And to this day, he patrols the entire park, helping lost hikers find their way home. So he may be one of those helping hands that's out there. And so that is, at least it's a real good, feel good type of a ghost out there helping people, because we need those too. We don't need the ones that just, moan and groan and scare us. We need the ones that are going to help us. Some people would say, if their house is haunted, they're like, well, at least go pick up a broom and sweep the floor, go mop my floors if you're going to be in here and pestering me.
They say a lot of that stuff is, they attribute the ones that have bad experiences that they were disrespecting nature, disrespecting the park. So they have a bad experience or get led and lost out in the wilderness. And the ones that get saved or helped supposedly have a reverence for the land and the foliage and all that goes with the park. So they get a helping hand where the other ones don't. Kind of like a Betty and Barney Hill kind of situation. One has a good experience, one has a bad.
Oh, that's why I'm a proponent of people picking up trash out in the woods and stuff too. That's what Terry Wendell, my buddy out of Rock Hill, South Carolina, Rock Hill Bigfoot, he's always said, he takes a garbage bag out into the woods with him, and that actually helps him have, I guess it does. It helps him to get more contact with the Bigfoots, because there's a respect thing that goes on, is what he says. So, in Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot says, can't go off trail. Don't ever go off trail in the Smoky Mountains, y'all. Okay. Unless you know what you're doing and you're from there, and I guess if you're from there, you're saying don't do it. So that is it. You've been warned, everybody, for sure. Okay. So I guess that's it. Okay. So let's move on to the next, because we do know that we do have cryptids out there as well. But the next national park is, let's get the drum roll here. I think this is Yosemite. Yeah, Yosemite National Park. And this is a very haunted park. And yes, this does have one of those hotels like you were talking about, Geryl, that is super haunted. Actually, it's called the Ahwahnee Hotel. And let's see, this is where Yosemite is, in case people are not familiar with it. Okay, on the map. Now let's compare the Yosemite, because they have a very high level of people who go missing there as well. Let's look at the missing persons cluster map over here.
Yeah, there's a big spot over there I was noticing earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's in Nevada or California, Oregon, or same area.
Mm-hmm. Well, it says that it has more active missing persons cases than any other national park in the United States. And it has some of the most unsettling unsolved national park mysteries. And they say it has literal skeletons in its closet. Okay. There's a lot of high strangeness that goes on there. Now we got to also keep in mind that these national parks are vast. Okay. Vast. There's a lot of mountains, a lot of plateaus and caves and places for people to get lost.
Right.
Naturally, not just being grabbed by Bigfoot. Okay. So, but they say that it even has a link. Okay. If you go to their page, like their website. They have a page that links the weird and wonderful occurrences within the park, and they highlight haunts, like hauntings and ghosts and things like that in their park as well. And let's talk about this hotel right quick, because I thought this was kind of cool. It looks like a really nice lodge. I would totally stay there. Okay.
Right.
It reminds me of Brasstown Bald up in North Georgia, which is they got a lodge there that's really nice. But they say that this is actually a super haunted hotel there. It's the most haunted area of the entire park, actually. And former President John F. Kennedy once visited the hotel, and there's a rocking chair in the room that he stayed in, and they say that this rocking chair rocks back and forth, sometimes all by itself, and they claim that is John F. Kennedy's ghost in that rocking chair. Can you imagine going one place like, okay, I am not famous by any means, but imagine like people that know me, let's just say, if I had like gone somewhere when I was young and I sat in some chair, they'd be like, oh, Jessica, love that chair. And if it started rocking like forever, people would think that was my ghost, even though I don't even remember being there. Like, I don't know. I just don't think that would be JFK.
If he is there, I think I'd try to get some EVP recordings and ask him who killed him.
Oh, yeah. Good idea. Oh, yeah. Yeah, why not? You know what? And I bet he would show up if you called on him, right? Okay. If you definitely called on him. Let's see. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting to pull up comments today, y'all. I've been talking. I'm in the zone talking about these national parks today. Yes, The Shining too. I did bring up The Shining earlier, and that is a terrible. I don't know if that's based. I mean, they do have a real hotel there. You know, you can go to that hotel. It's haunted. I don't think it's haunted like the movie though, right? In the book.
I don't know. They say that hotel, you go down and have seances and all kinds of stuff down there, and all kinds of spirits show up. So I think it's just like every national park, every lodge has their stories or deaths and tragedies, and I'm sure if you go looking, you'll find it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, if it wasn't haunted then, it's haunted now. It is. After all the saying, that just brings the haunts in when you go and you open up the portals, like you were talking about, Jane. You open up a portal. Some people may not know how to shut those portals down, and you shouldn't be opening portals, anyways. That's my opinion. Okay, so that's Yosemite, y'all. And in Yosemite, I'm sure they've got tons of Bigfoot sightings and tons of other cryptid sightings as well. But that's it. And if you go to this hotel, look for that rocking chair where President Kennedy rocked his little heart away. Okay.
And even when you go on the trails or out in Yosemite, they say they have the voices of the void, where you hear like a young boy crying because he ended up drowning, I guess, in the river or the waterways there in Yosemite. So you'll hear him cry at night.
Ew, that's really sad. That's really sad. Well, there's a lot of like children crying, like ghostly sounds and stuff like that too. When you were saying that, I was thinking about Pyramid Lake out in Nevada too, with they get the water babies out there, and it's just really sad. I'd like to think that's not really children crying. Maybe it's just something trying to trick you, like the S walkers or something, but who knows?
Could be.
It could be. Okay. Well, let's get to our next one. We have the Badlands. I have never, ever covered the Badlands before. And I was pulling up pictures and I was like, well, this is why I've never covered Badlands, because there's no Bigfoots out there probably. Okay. There's no Bigfoots. I mean, this place is 100% like, it looks like the desert.
Yeah.
I don't think
it's long ways.
It's beautiful to look at, but like,
I don't think there's
anything to go do there. What could you do there? So go look. It looks treacherous, if you ask me. Now, if people want to know where the Badlands are, it's right there. Was that South Dakota?
Yeah.
Right above. I've been to Nebraska before. All the states. I've actually been to Nebraska. That's wild. Okay. So the Badlands right there. I think there's a TV show about the Badlands. Maybe. I don't know. I hear about the Badlands. We showed it on the map already. It just looks like the desert. It honestly looks like the Grand Canyon.
Right.
And it looks like it could have been mined, like a quarry. I'm just saying.
Layers.
It is in layers.
Yeah.
So the Native Americans dubbed the area the Badland, And the ghostly shrieks suggest they were right. So it's one of the most, okay, this is like the second or third most haunted park in the United States. And it says the rock formations were not good for farming or foraging, like I was saying. It looks like there's not a whole lot to do there. But they all have a desolate, sinister side. And towering structures like the Dog Watch Butte. Is it Butte? I think it's Butte. I said Butte.
Yes, Butte.
The Butte. Okay.
But
they have a particularly bad reputation. And I don't know if this is it or not. I just found this picture and it reminded me of like a petrified mushroom or something.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah. Because, we can connect the petrified animals with all this too, right? The petrified trees and like Devil's Pass as well, which I think is a step.
A little bit past there, I'm pretty sure if you're on that same highway, you're getting close to Devil's Tower. I'm pretty sure Devil's Tower is in that area, past the Badlands.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Speaking of tree trunks.
Well, to me, it kind of looks like pyramids as well.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, some of those look like they could have been pyramids, maybe. I mean, I don't know if they melted at some point or erosion got them. But they say that one of the scariest things that happens here are the screams. I hear screams throughout these, I guess you call them mountains.
Wow.
And of course, that could be big cats. Okay, it doesn't have to be humans, but they do hear a lot of screams out there. And some of the Native Americans believe their ancestors resided in the area, protecting the land from all who dared to enter, including their own descendants. That's the ghost of their ancestors. They say that more recently, the Badlands National Park is a popular hiding spot for fugitives who are running from the law.
Yeah, you can't find them.
They say that it's easy to hide in the rocky terrain, particularly in the early 1900s before the area was well mapped. Today, visitors can enjoy hiking through the trails, I guess, and they can drive through the region as well. And I mean, to me, it looks like it'd be cool to fly over, but I don't know. It just looks like there'd be a lot of rattlesnakes out there. And not too many rattlesnakes, not enough Bigfoots. That's my opinion. And probably not a whole lot of Dogman and stuff out there too. But
pretty desolate out there. I mean, I think there's like 2 passages through or around the Badlands. One you go through and there's no food, no stops, no gas, so you have to make sure you have a vehicle going to make it all the way through. And then the other one routes around where you kind of see a little bit of the Badlands, but I mean, we've watched Westerns all our lives, and they always talk about going in the Badlands to lose the posse or whatever, because and I'm sure gangsters back in the day probably did it also.
They probably dumped bodies there.
I imagine.
Probably because nobody wants to go there.
The Badlands tell no secrets.
Yeah. I'm not going there anytime soon, but it is beautiful. And I would love to fly over it one day. And we got to wonder, like, well, maybe those could have been pyramids. I don't know. I'm putting that out there. It doesn't mean that's true.
Is there any caves in that area?
You know what? I bet there are, but I didn't find any. Okay.
Right.
I didn't find any. I'm sure there's plenty of caves. Caves are everywhere. Let's look at the cave map. Okay. And let's go back to where it is on the map so you guys can get a refresher. So right there in South Dakota, and then let's go up to the cave map here. Right here. If you go look at the bottom map right there. Yeah, I mean, actually, it looks like there is a patch of blue right there.
Right there before you go on the...
That's right.
In Wyoming. Oh, my.
There's a big old patch of blue right there.
Wow.
Right where the Badlands are.
Badlands.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Good call, Jane. Yeah.
Let's go cave hunting.
No, maybe. I'll go to another cave. Might be heading over to a cave here in the next few weeks at the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Okay, so let's go to the next one because we got 2 more. Okay, we got to squeeze them in before we got to go today. And the next one is Big Bend National Park. I have never covered this one either. And and so Big Bend actually is, let's see where it is on the map in case you guys want to see it. It's down in South Texas, right on the Mexican border.
Ooh.
Right there. So Big Bend so we've pretty much covered most of the country, all over the different regions here. And the Chisos Mountains in Big Bend National Park literally translates to ghost or spirit. So it's safe to assume that there are probably some ghosts and spirits in this park. And let me show you how beautiful this place is. I would 100% want to go to this place.
Wow.
Hikers have reported numerous strange noises like whispers or full-blown screams coming out of nowhere. And they say that it just has a very supernatural feel to it. And it has a long history of things such as hot stones and other small hard objects falling from the sky. I mean, what? It says the phenomenon has unalived livestock, injured visitors, and struck fear into plenty of guests. Now, there's this strange thing right here. Look at that guy standing under that rock. He's brave.
Wow.
He's brave. I'm sure that rock's been there for millennia, probably. But they say that hot rocks fall from the sky out of nowhere.
Hot rocks.
Hot rocks. I mean, that is wild. I'd never heard of anything like that happening before. This is the picture I pulled up out of all the pictures I found of Big Bend. I thought, well, what if that's like a little pyramid right there? I'm so suspicious, y'all.
Yeah, it looks like
so suspicious. Yeah, I'm very suspicious. Now, this is actually the area that has that luxurious hotel.
Oh.
As well. Check that out. So that is a bed with a nice view right there. And let's see, here's some more pictures of that. I mean, that's kind of cool.
That would be interesting.
It looks really nice. So they say that the heat in the mountains of the area make electrical failures common, which kind of adds to the isolation of this place out at Big Bend. And they say that it's pretty common to feel like something's watching you all the time out there as well. And they say that there's just the most haunted area of Big Bend would be the caves. But the most famous haunted things that happen out there are the falling objects. Now, they do consider that paranormal because they don't know where these rocks are coming from.
Right.
You know what throws rocks? They're sometimes hot. They definitely have a heat signature. Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you did a show on rock apes from Vietnam. I mean, they obviously do throw rocks, and we have reports in the U.S. where it's either a warning or take it however you want that you get rocks pelted at you.
That's right. We did. We had a gentleman on the show who's friends with my mom, actually, Mr. Bob. Okay, and he came on and said that he was in Vietnam. Yeah, he got attacked. They basically got accosted by a rock ape. He said he was already terrified to death, having to fight in the jungle, combat, straight out of not ever being in a war before, and being young, and to be getting accosted by rock apes. And a lot of times when we get rocks thrown at us and stuff, I mean, sometimes they'll be in the thermal. You can see that they've got a heat signature to them where they've been in a Bigfoot's hand or whatever through it. So who's to say that things aren't getting lobbed from way across the area and hitting people from a long ways away?
So I knew we'd talk about Bigfoot, so I wore my American Legends Bigfoot shirt today.
Oh, I love that. Is that from your shop?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I love that.
That's one of our new ones.
We're doing cryptids. We have a Mothman one. We have the Bigfoot. We're getting ready to do a couple more. We're going to add to the shop for cryptids, American Legends.
I love that. I love that. You're going to have to tell the audience how to get to your shop stuff too today before we go. That's awesome.
We do the link.
Oh yeah. Okay, perfect.
Someone posted the link. I saw it.
Y'all put the link in the chat so everybody can get their own t-shirt.
I know she's got it.
Yeah, I like this comment from Dan. He said it's really cool. He's talking about that luxurious hotel in the cave. He said it's all cool until a crawler is pressed against the glass trying to get you.
Or you have non-deer looking at you.
Yeah, I don't know. I would definitely. That's why I like curtains. Okay, curtains are good.
Well, don't look like there's curtains there.
I know. I'd rather hear you than see you. Okay. When it comes to stuff like that, when I'm trying to sleep. Okay. And may not be a great idea going.
I would sacrifice my bed sheet and put over the window.
Exactly. Right. Get the towels and press them up against there. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. Maybe I'd say I'd have to have the hotel pay me to stay there. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes down to it. Let's see. Do I have any more pictures of what is this? The Big Bend. Big Bend is beautiful. Okay, absolutely beautiful. But it is super haunted. And basically the main things are, like I said, the falling rocks that are hot And I mean, they said they've killed their livestock out there. That's got to
Oh.
be a big rock
Right.
Wow.
falling from the sky.
Wow.
And it's still happening today?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. It says it is.
Wow.
It's killed livestock, injured visitors, and struck fear in plenty of guests to this day. So
That's
all right.
interesting.
Super interesting. Okay. Well, let's go to our very last one. Okay. This
All
is the #1 most haunted national park in the United States. Guess where it is, y'all? Do y'all have any idea, Jane, Geryl?
The Everglades.
Yeah. I gave you a cheat. You got a cheat sheet. I'm just kidding.
I had it on my own personal list, by the way.
Yeah, it is. Well, we've actually talked about this with the ghost flight. Remember, or I don't know if it was
Yeah,
a ghost flight.
401.
Yeah, it was like the Eastern Airlines flight 401 crashed there in the Everglades. Now, this is down in Florida, home of the skunk ape down there.
There you go.
And I think Dennis and I did a show on that a long time ago, and I think I had remote viewed that. But there's a plane that went down. A lot of people lost their lives down there in that swamp. And when you type into a search engine, crashed plane in Everglades, it is crazy how many airplanes have crashed in the Everglades, y'all. You'd think there was a Bermuda Triangle in there.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what it looked like. It's wild. Just do a quick search, anybody, if you guys are interested in this. Let's go back. I'll show you where this is at. Okay, this is what the Everglades looks like. I'm going to tell y'all it's swampy, and it's got gators in it. Okay, gators and snakes. Now, when I say gators and snakes, I mean a lot of alligators. It is not for the faint of heart right here. And this is where it's located down in the tippy bottom of Florida right there. And they say that homicide victims, lost boats, and disappearing planes all make up for these ghostly sightings that they have down there. I think the Bigfoots play a big part of it as well, the skunk apes. But it's one of the most, if not the most, haunted national park in the United States. They say that there's a lot of predators out of there. They actually, I don't know, maybe the Bermuda Triangle. I don't think the Bermuda Triangle actually hits down here, but it's right off the coast on the Atlantic side of Florida, right there. Right. That's where the Bermuda Triangle is.
Maybe it's bigger than what they're telling us.
It might be. It could be. Absolutely. And of course, like I said, there was that Flight 401 that crashed down there. They've had multiple airplane crashes, and 401 I think had the most casualties, I'm assuming. But unfortunately, a lot of planes go down there. And let me tell you, when the plane goes down in the Everglades, this is what you get to contend with.
Oh my goodness!
When you go down, so
that would be creepy.
Oh man, that would be a nightmare. That would definitely be a nightmare. And when I think of Everglades, this is what I think of. I think of airboats and gators. Okay.
Yeah.
And giant snakes.
And giant anacondas and pythons and boas.
Swamp monsters.
Yeah, swamp monsters. The gators is a big thing for me. But it's got to be hard for crews to come in there, to like first responders to get to you if there is a big event that happens and a plane goes down.
Even with the 401 incident, you probably would have never had that many people helped if it wasn't for those people in the airboats, and especially the two fishermen that just happened to be in the area on their airboat.
Wow.
Was able to get to the scene right away.
Oh yeah. And I've got to assume there's probably a lot of bodies that have been dumped in that area as well, because it's a place that you can't get to it easily, and the alligators probably take care of all the leftovers, if you know what I mean. Oh, it's terrible. I would think that would be a prime spot for body dumping as well. And outlaws utilize the marsh to hide from the law, of course. And I wonder how that went, because they had to go hang out with alligators. And like I say, alligators are not nice. They're not your friends. And you got to be real careful about them. I used to go swimming with alligators when I was a kid.
Oh, my.
And I kind of attribute that to why I don't have a ton of fear, because when I was a kid, my parents took us to a place called Wakulla Springs in Florida. And Stacy Brown Jr. knows all about it, and so does Connor Flynn, Bigfoot and on. And I think Stacy lives there now in that area. But when we were kids, there was a place that was called it was Wakulla Springs. It was huge freshwater spring out there, and you can take like guided jungle boat cruises, I think is what they called it, and you can get on the glass bottom boat tours.
Oh,
And you can go.
That'd be fun.
It was beautiful,
Yeah.
and they had a little designated area where you could go swimming, and right by the spring. But here's the thing: there were more alligators in that area than you could ever imagine. I mean, it basically looked like that picture that I just showed at Wakulla. This is what Wakulla looks like when you go on that jungle boat cruise. All of the water puppies, as Abba says. And so there's just nothing but alligators, and we'd go see the alligators, and then sometimes we would end up going swimming in this little place. They had a dock out there, and I remember we would jump in the water. Okay, we get in the water. There was nothing stopping the alligators from coming into the swimming hole. Nothing, except for a rope. like a rope that floated on top of the water, and then they had like a lifeguard that would sit there and watch and hope they caught them if they came in. Yeah, and they would blow a whistle for everybody to get out. You know? But see, the whole goal would be like there was a dock in the middle of that little swimming hole, and our goal would be like to swim to it really quick and not get eaten, and then stay there for a little bit and look for alligators, and then jump off and swim back as fast as we could.
wow.
And yeah, so that's what I did when I was a kid. Yeah. What is everybody else's kids doing these days? I don't know. Like,
Playing video games.
Yeah, I don't know if I could take my son there. I don't know. He's tough, but I don't know.
I just keep thinking of a little kid going, "Can I pet that dog?"
Oh my God, yes. Yes. And I mean, there were times where we were swimming and alligators did come into that area. And
Oh
we're
my
not talking
gosh.
about little ones. We're talking about big ones, like big gators and stuff. So
No.
I guess they still do that to this day. But yeah, it's a good way to, first of all, learn how to swim fast
Yeah.
and know that, and learn how to swim. If you want to get a double decker there, like just throw your kids in there and just let them swim. But anyways, it's further north than the Everglades. It's more like north towards like Tallahassee, like the capital of Florida.
That'd
But
be
nonetheless,
that'd be good training for the Olympic swimmers. You know, just throw them in there. Okay, here you go. If you can beat the alligator, you can beat the Russians.
adrenaline junkies. Yes, it's yeah, that would be it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. It's a terrible idea, actually. But
It'd be
yeah,
fun
you
to
really
watch.
can't. You can't outswim an alligator. That's right. In love, you cannot. It's hard to outswim an alligator. But when you're a kid, it tired us out a lot too. Maybe that's why my parents did it. They took us there because it made us really tired when we got out of there. So we slept good. But nonetheless, the Everglades are the most haunted national park in the country. And I think it does have probably a good bit to do with all the airplanes that have gone down there, the homicide victims whose bodies have been dumped there, and just overall, just a lot of people have died there,
Right.
in that park. So,
I mean, you got to think of, Al Capone had a place down in the Floridas, so I'm assuming there was drug smuggling, all kinds of stuff, missing bodies just from gangsters alone, let alone just outlaws.
Mm-hmm. Lots of outlaws. That's right. Okay, let's look at the missing persons cluster map. Let's see if there's a missing persons cluster. Nope, there's none.
Nobody
there's any
disappears
down
in
there.
Florida.
No,
That's because they
Oh my
don't get
gosh.
reported.
That's what I was going to say. They may
Yeah.
not get reported, especially if they're into crime and stuff like cartels and things like that. Probably don't get reported. Okay, but we're just assuming. We're just assuming. This is for entertainment purposes
Right.
only. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. I know. Let's see what else we got going on there. I guess there's there are some missing people. If you look at that top map with the missing persons clusters, there are missing people that go up and down the state of Florida, down the middle of Florida right there. But I don't see any in the Everglades down there. Of course, the tip of that map is cut off too. So, but let's see. Let me take this down to see if we can see it. Nope. There's no caves down there. No nothing.
What's
But
going
just
on
a lot
with
of
that?
gators.
What's going on with that center section? There ain't any caves, no missing people, no nothing in that center.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see about the ley lines too, though, and of course there's a ley line that goes right through the Everglades, actually.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. And so that's where the Bermuda Triangle is, actually, right there where all those ley lines intersect.
Oh yeah.
That's over there by where that is where the Bermuda Triangle is, right there. And so I would think that would attribute to the the planes going down from the compasses going crazy, like the electrical panels on the airplanes getting all wonky and stuff. I mean, probably has something to do with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. So they say lost boaters as well. So people get lost in the marsh. As you can, God, that'd be a horrible place to get lost. It'd be a horrible place. But nonetheless, there's, yeah, I guess that's about it. Oh my gosh, this has been wild and crazy.
Wow.
I mean, gosh, I was going to ask y'all
I mean,
a question.
I'm sure we can do a part 2, because there's all kinds of other national parks that have strange and weird stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's Crater Lake, there's Shenandoah, there's Olympic Park.
Oh yeah.
My favorite one though is Shenandoah, where they have the whispering pines, where supposedly the trees talk to you. And I saw one video of a park ranger that said a little boy came up to her and whispered, "If you're real quiet, the trees talk louder than people." And then he took off and left.
Oh my God.
That's all he said.
Oh my God, that's creepy. That's definitely creep factor right there. Well, I mean, we've even got places like Yellowstone too. Jane, I think you said you had been to Yellowstone, right? And Barry had given me those remote viewing targets of the Gugway and the fog they have there, and the whispers at Lake. I think it's called Lake Yellowstone. They hear people whispering in that lake a lot, and it kind of reminds me again of Pyramid Lake in Nevada, as well, where you can hear people talking and whispering in the lake.
Yeah, and then around the lodge at Yellowstone, you have the Headless Bride.
Ooh, I haven't heard about that one.
Yeah, the Headless Bride.
Oh, that'd be a nice remote viewing target.
On their honeymoon.
Where did her head go? What happened?
The husband supposedly decapitated. They supposedly got in a big, huge fight or something was going on. They really didn't want to get married. It was like an arranged marriage, an older man, younger woman. She ended up being beheaded.
Oh, well, that's tragic. That's very tragic. That's very sad. I mean, there's a lot of supernatural stuff going on at Yellowstone, but that fog is like a big deal. And if you guys watch my shows, y'all know that I've talked about the fog up in the North Georgia mountains that seem to have a consciousness to it. And that was one of the scariest nights I've ever had out in the woods.
I just watched a video from a ring cam that had like a fog or a mist go across the backyard, and you can almost see like a dragon and like a horse riding through, and it looks like people walking through, but it's a mist.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah, there's something with the fog, and you know what? I hate to say this, but I felt like when we were up at Montauk about a year and a half ago, I was with all the Montauk survivors up there, and Long Island Bigfoot was with us too. Okay, and Brian Sang, all that crew, and Arkeem. And the day that we were supposed to go out there to go see that biorhythmic portal opening to see if the USS Eldridge was going to come through, the fog was so dense and thick we couldn't see 5 feet in front of our faces, and so to me it just felt like someone had turned on a fog machine. It was artificial fog, and it was done on purpose. When we were out there that day, they knew what was going to happen.
Fog is this creepy no matter where it is. This to start off with, whether you see or feel anything, the fog is this creepy when you encounter it.
It is. I know. It's a great place for things to hide. It's a great place for things to hide. Yeah, it is. I think there's a movie called The Fog. It's really creepy. Han says, I went to a place in Florida called Gatorland. It was honestly cooler than Disney or Universal Studios. I would much rather go to Gatorland than go to Disney World. I'm just saying. I went to Disney World when I was a kid. I'll never go back. I'll never take my kid there.
I remember when I went to Florida with my best friend, and when we were driving through, there's all kinds of places up and down the highway where, you can stop and wrestle gators and all that stuff. It's like we wanted to, but we were pressed for time, so we didn't get to wrestle any gators.
Oh no, you didn't get to, you were disappointed. You
I
didn't
know.
get to
I
wrestle a
wanted
gator.
to.
Well, I know a place where you can go swimming with gators. If you ever want to go down to what is it? Wakulla Springs. Go to Wakulla Springs, and I'm sure they probably still swim with the gators down there.
Yeah.
And
I've
yeah.
been to other places where it says swim with gators, but they're not animals.
Oh God. Well, that sounds terrifying. It does. Oh my gosh. Well, you guys, this has been such a great show today. This was a really fun topic. It's a little different. We went a little different today. We talked about some paranormal haunts and the most terrifying national parks in the United States today, and brought some back up, talking about what all's going on in these parks. In addition to what we talked about today, y'all know there's a lot of cryptid activity going on there, and these deep underground military bases probably, but it's all for entertainment purposes only.
Right.
And yeah, well, Jane and Geryl, thank y'all so much for being here today.
Oh, thanks for having
Thank
us.
you.
It's always fun. It's always fun. I would love for you guys to tell the audience about your YouTube channel and your store and whatever y'all got going on, and when your next show is.
Actually, our next show is coming up on what is it? Wednesday?
Tonight.
Not Wednesday. So we have Sunday with Greg House, your friend
Oh yeah, great.
from Woodwalkers. So we have him coming on Sunday. Then the Wednesday after that, we have Paul Stobbs. We're going to be talking about Nephilims and the clown connection.
Ooh, that is a really interesting topic right there.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait to see that one for sure. Oh
And then
my gosh.
we also have a creepy movie night on Fridays and Saturdays on our Rumble channel. So if anybody wants to watch, say, the $6 Million Man and the Bigfoot, we're going to have that coming up this Friday.
Oh, awesome. Very cool. I don't think I've ever seen that full movie before.
There was
I'll have to
actually
check it
5
out.
episodes that have Bigfoot between the $6 Million Man and the Bionic Woman. There's 5
Oh.
Bigfoot episodes.
Wow.
Oh, very cool. Oh, so it was a TV series. So I have
Yeah.
not seen it. I mean, I know what it is, but I haven't seen it then. Okay. That's amazing. That's really cool. And Jane, you've also got a YouTube channel as well where you do your music.
Yes, if I don't have a cough attack, I got a tickle going on.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I just do a wide variety of instruments, and it's not a big channel. It's just I just do a lot of hand pans and tongue drums and flutes and just a wide variety of instruments.
And I love it so much. And I really like your live cams that you guys have on your channel as well, where we can see all your
yeah.
goats and your raccoons and possums and whatever you got going on out
We
there.
got purple martins now, so the purple martins are very exciting.
Oh, amazing.
And you can catch an occasional orb, and you have to
yeah.
sit there and watch, and you'll see orbs and skyfish and other things that kind of and when, like you were just talking, when the fog rolls in, you never know what you're going to see.
Yeah, you never know what's hiding in that fog.
Right.
That's right. Oh my goodness. Are you guys near a national park where y'all live?
The state park, not national.
State
I don't
park?
think there's a national park here. I think it's
Ooh.
just state parks.
Yeah,
Maybe-
I mean, we could have talked about Starved Rock. It's not a national park, but it's a state park, and there was the famous
Oh yeah.
murders in Starved Rock, where an employee killed a young woman in one of the caverns in the cul-de-sac caves, and that made national news in a big trial.
Ooh, that's terrifying.
So if you just Google Starved Rock murders, it'll come up.
Oh my gosh. Maybe we should do a show on state parks that are terrifying next.
Yeah, could be.
I know. I need to get that park ranger that hit me up that day, or it's a bunch of days actually. He hit me up where I went ultimately to do that investigation in North Georgia, over in East Georgia actually, where the Georgia Guidestones are, and I think it was like 9 Bigfoot sightings that 1 month, and they had the Bigfoot death. Anyways, we're not going to go there. It's all a little weird. It got a little weird actually because the stories were kind of skewed. I think there was some sort of a cover up. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
When it comes to
That's
Bigfoot.
what it is about all these stories.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tragic, it's horrible, but it's still interesting because there's folklore and all kinds of stuff weaved in and out of these stories.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, you guys, please don't ever be scared to go to our national parks. Just please be aware and keep your head on a swivel, as I always say. But go enjoy these beautiful places. Maybe not the Badlands. That place looks like it's be kind of, there's not a lot to do there. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Everybody who lives there, I don't know. I would be worried that my car would run out of gas and all that kind of stuff there. But nonetheless, they call it Badlands for a reason.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll stick to my luscious mountains of eastern United States over here. That's where I like to go the most. But nonetheless, thank y'all so much for being here today, and everybody, thank y'all so much for being here in the chat with us. Thank you to all my moderators, and I want to thank Maureen and Gus for that super sticker today. That was so sweet of y'all. I hope you guys will please come back and see me. What is today? Oh, tomorrow. I'm going to have Arkeem Raw back on the show tomorrow night. We've got another one. He said this one is really dangerous. We're going to talk about tomorrow night.
Oh, my.
Yeah, a really dangerous remote viewing target he has given me. I don't know what it is yet. Okay. He has not told me what it is yet. But we are going, I can promise you, it's going to be an interesting show tomorrow night. So please come back and see me tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Be there or be square. And Jane and Geryl, we'll see y'all over at Midwest Night Watchers over there on YouTube and Facebook. And everybody have a wonderful day. Stay safe. And remember, kids, only you can prevent zombie bears. Okay. Y'all have a great day and stay safe out there. Bye,
Bye, everybody.